Hey there, this is LadyJamers and welcome to the December version of Cooking with LadyJamers. Today we are going to make some Christmas cookies. I am doing a versatile sugar cookie recipe from the old Betty Crocker cookbook and some ginger molasses cookies that I absolutely adore. They're chewy and so good. And go Eagles, just want to tell you. And here is that gold bow that I told you about. I think it came out really nice. And I clipped it on, so here's the original bow. And so there you go, all nice. So stay tuned as we make some Christmas cookies. Now for the ingredients. I have my trusty menu right there. This is literally from a page from the Betty Crocker cookbook. And Baby Yoda's here to help us. So, mixture of butter and shortening, some brown sugar, and then I add a little bit of sugar in the wall, and regular sugar, flour, 2 eggs, some baking powder, vanilla, and a pinch of salt. And away we go to mix and have some fun. Okay, now we have our softened butter and some shortening, and that goes in the bowl. Now you can use a mixer. I like to stir it myself. Here is a cup of sugar. It's white, brown, and a little bit of that sugar in the wall. Now a teaspoon of vanilla. I like to just kind of splash it in there. And 2 eggs. And we mix these in. And then we stir in the flour and the salt and the baking powder. And then you can either cover this for 1 hour, or you can do what I like to do, which is put it in wax paper. Then you put it in the refrigerator. You can leave it in there for like at least 1 hour, but you also can leave it in there for a couple of days. You can go in and it becomes kind of like a Toll House cookie mix that you get, where you break off some, you cook some, and you can have you don't have to have all your cookies at once. So this looks kind of mixed and all, and I am going to pre-measure out the flour. So we'll be right back on that one. Okay. As you notice in these videos, I do a lot of okays. So here is 1 cup. It asks for 2.5 cups of flour. And I can't find my other cup thing. So we're going to do this. And is the other cup. And right here I have a half a cup, plus I have underneath this flour, I have a teaspoon of baking powder and a teaspoon of salt. So I plop that on there. And then you stir more. Now, like I said, if you stir by hand, you will have little lumps in there of the shortening and butter. But the one thing I noticed when you are, when they bake, it's kind of like a little pop of a flavor in there, which makes it like even better in my my thoughts right there. And like I said, you can use a KitchenAid blender if you want. Mom likes to use the KitchenAid blender, and I don't know, to me it's more things to clean. And yeah, it might be faster and all, but more things to clean. And more ways to get your finger caught in something. So, when it's blended nice, you can put it on the wax paper. And I saved your ears by taking it off the thingy. Now, another thing that's really good and really bad at the same time, you can eliminate the eggs part and just eat the cookie dough. And in fact, you can eat a little bit of the cookie dough with the eggs in it anyway. It won't kill you, but that part is like when you really want to indulge, you could just like eat cookie dough, which is probably part of the reason that I have a Rubik's shape. Now, also when you do it in the KitchenAid, everything gets blended. As you can see, I have a pile of flour right there. Now, we can just incorporate it and kind of make it into kind of ball shape, flattened ball. And being that I have my Eagle shirt on, I could say something about the Patriots and deflated balls, which I just did. So, you take the wax paper, wrap it around, and put in a little package. And then you put it in the refrigerator, and we will be back later to show you how many things you can do with this dough. My two favorite things are making thumbprint cookies, where you can put in jam, you can put in Reese's peanut butter cups, Hershey's Kisses, you name it. And the old-fashioned sugar cookies with all the different shapes and all the different toppings. And see you in a bit. Go Eagles. Now, in the video, this will look simultaneous, but there has been changes since we first made our cookie dough. Life intervened. I got eye surgery, and I have one lens taken out because the lens made it blurry with the contacts. My team lost another game, but still, go Eagles. So, what we're going to do is we're going to make Christmas cookies and thumbprint cookies out of this. But first, we are making some ginger-molasses cookies. Now, I'm going to put a picture of the ingredients And I'm going to put at the end of this video the recipe for both the sugar and the ginger molasses cookies at the end of the video if you want to make it yourself. So I'm going to put that down there. I put out all the ingredients for the ginger molasses cookies, and we are going to stick that picture here. Okay, so we have our softened butter, and this is 3/4 cup of softened butter, and I put a half a cup of softened butter with a 1/4 cup of shortening. We're gonna plop that in there and get a spoon. Only thing I didn't pre-measure. And then we are going to put in the sugar, and it asks for 1 cup of sugar, so I'm doing half a cup of brown sugar and a half cup of white sugar, and that's over here. I thought if I pre-measure everything before I start filming, it might make it a little bit easier. And then we put in the 1 egg, and that's over here, and the molasses, and you do 3/4 cup of molasses. So if you like molasses like I do, this is very good. And we'll scrape that, make sure we get all the goodness. One thing I always wonder about cooking is when you're doing the measuring cups, are you getting all the 3/4 cup, or are you getting a little bit less because it's all stuck to the cup? And then we stir that together, and if you're using brown sugar like I am, make sure that you unpack it. And in another video I showed how to keep your brown sugar from getting too hard, and that is basically by putting it in a gallon Ziploc bag. Makes it, and then you kind of tighten it up and makes it so it will last for months and months rather than like 2 months. And then after we're done stirring this in, we put in the dry ingredients. And for the dry ingredients, we have 2 1/4 cup of all-purpose sugar. We have ginger, cinnamon, and baking soda. And as you know, in the last for the sugar cookies, you put in baking powder. This one, you put in baking soda. So right now, here's 1 cup, a 1/4 cup, and that thing I was looking for and I couldn't find last time on the first part of this video. So sometimes having a couple of days spread between the first part and the second part is sometimes good. You find what you were looking for. And then here is 2 tablespoons of ground ginger. It's 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 1 3/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon gets plopped in there. And then you continue to stir. And the nice part about this is that after your dough is done, they say that you line your baking dish, your cookie dish, cookie pan, whatever you want to call it, with parchment paper, which makes things clean up a breeze. Because what we're going to do is we're going to roll these in colored sugar. I got green and red for Christmas. And that just makes it like really nice. Plus also, you can put nuts in here, raisins in here. You can put them on top to decorate them. You can make... They will flatten out as they go, so you can make it like it's a Mickey head gingerbread man, or just, you know, maybe Mike from Monsters Inc. Or anything you want, like Disney themed, if you want to call it. So you can put this dough right on the cookie sheet, but I'm going to let it rest a bit, and then we will get back to making our cookies. Now, for making the dough, you take your little place to flatten them out, and we use this little old Tupperware plastic thing, and put in, sprinkle it with flour so nothing sticks, and then you flour your rolling pin also, like so. And we may have some comments from the pizza gallery. And I just roll it around in the dough like this. And you flatten it out. Now, this is where the fun comes in, where you buy all the little toppings and everything. And for demonstration purposes, I'm only going to do one tray lined with the parchment paper for the fancy cookies and the thumbprint, and one for the gingerbread. You will have a lot more cookies you can do. I found that using this gingerbread man and this tree to be the easiest. This year I got a car. It's a truck with a tree in it. Kind of reminds me of the motif that Disney is using with Mickey driving the truck. So I had to get it. And then we also have a bell and a snowflake, which is kind of big, and a stocking. Now, that bell in the background is saying that 350 degrees is here. So there is a kind of a sharper side and a smoother side. Try to cut on the sharper side, but honestly, it doesn't really matter. Except to your hands when you go like this. So you just roll out your dough and then place your cookies cutters, and I will show you those that have made several sugar cookies in their life know that you can just roll up the dough and then use some more, and when you're lucky it comes out like this, and then you plop it right on the cookie sheet. And when it doesn't, you kind of pull it up And if it doesn't want to come up, as Barbara says, it's a happy accident. And here we go. I'm gonna make some more trees because I love to decorate the trees with mini M&Ms. And what you do is, this is the string, and then you put the ornaments and the lights on the string. And if you want, you can even color the tree green. And I also have red and white icing. And we have eyeballs from another project. And for the thumbprints, we have raspberry jam. You can use any jam you want. Hershey's miniatures, and you can also use Hershey's Kisses if you want. And I have Reese's Pieces and peppermint sticks. And as we saw in the last part of the video, colored sugar, regular M&Ms, and a whole bunch of sparklies. Now, this is the Christmas version, and this actually was the Easter version. If you wanted to make Easter eggs, and I had to buy it. It had pink in it. So all that can go on your cookies. And with little eyeballs, we can give our gingerbread men eyes. And also, by putting some extra flour on here, it makes, not only does it not stick, but it makes it more, I think, sturdy, you would say. Now, you could also flatten it with your hands. You're not going to get an even surface. I will tell you on that one. But a lot of times it's quicker. And now, the one thing about having uneven surface that they always tell you about is that some cookies would be crisp, some of them would be soft, and I am being 100% honest, I like them more on the soft than I like them on the crisp. The crisp ones are perfect for dipping in coffee. And you can also flatten them out with your hand. And make one more. Put a little bit more flour. One more truck. I'm sure you make it 2 more trucks. Sometimes you have them too skinny. And there you have it. Now, on these, you can put the sprinkles on right away if you want. And on some of these, I'm going to put sprinkles. On some of them, I'm not. So, let me see. So, let me get the Christmas ones. And you can go to town and just sprinkle the whole thing or put it in your hand and just sprinkle them on top. Now if you want to really stick, kind of press it down. These are nice, but the sugar, to me, is the best. It also makes the most mess. That's why it's good to have parchment paper. And I just sprinkle it on. And sometimes when you overdo it on the sprinkles, that's the cookie you want first. And like I said, some of these I'm leaving unsprinkled, and we're going to do something more with those. Now, I don't know if you can see, but here's the stove. I'm going to put these in the 350 for 10 minutes. And we'll be right back. Have a slight correction. The sugar cookies are at 400 degrees. These ginger molasses are 350. So, and it said about the ginger molasses ones, don't go more than 10 minutes. So, what you do is just make a ball with your hands, and I put a little bit of flour on it so it wouldn't stick, and then you can put it in the green or the red or a combination of both, or sprinkle it on top. And I've had these before in past years, and that's why I had to make them this year, because they are just that good. Now, these do go a little bit hard after a few days, even though they are soft and chewy, but it's still good. And that's the thing, when you're making more than one cookie, sometimes you transpose what you're doing. Like earlier when I said 2 1/4 cups, I said sugar because I was going through to make sure that I got everything right, and it's 2 1/4 cups of flour, and you'll see on my video that I put flour, not sugar. So let's mix these together and make it even better. And if you want to mix them together, that's fine. Just do 2 different cups like this so you don't mess up your big tin. Because let's face it, do you really want Santa's hat to be red and green when it should just be red? And when I'm all done, I'll show you the finished product, although we're not done yet. We have a little bit more to go. one more, and then we'll save this dough for off camera. So here are the ginger molasses with the sprinkles on top, and like I said, if you want, you can put, you know, raisins on top, you can put nuts on top, you can put Reese's Pieces if you want to have some peanut butter in your, you can put some peppermint stick, whatever. Decorate with icing. And we will be back in a moment. Okay, so the ginger molasses cookies are done, and like I said, they would spread. What you do is you put these on a towel to let them kind of cool and dry down. And what we're going to do now is we are going to set the oven to 400 for these cookies, because I double checked the recipe. 400 for 4 to 6 minutes. And let me turn this off, hit bake 400 and hit start. Okay, so we have our little ginger man, and you can put the eyes on before you bake them. In fact, that might be a little bit easier, and we're gonna put them on after and just gonna squeeze them in there, because right as he comes out of the oven, he's still warm. And see, there's his little eyes. And you can give him a little smile. And little buttons that don't stay. Like that. And you can also give them little M&M buttons. And there is your gingerbread all ready to eat. Now, there's a couple of different ways to do the tree. You can leave it like this, or you can put little... Now, the one thing, I like the ones that have all the colors, because you use a white dot for the star, you know, the right M&M. I couldn't find any, I only could find these when I was shopping for them, which are just the red and the green. So, what you do is you just place the M&Ms on the string of lights. And put them wherever you want. You can have them be all green. You can have them be all red. And see, isn't that pretty? And you can plop them and place them in the tree, which after it's baked is not always a good thing. Because after it bakes, you can, sometimes you cut off the top of your tree. And the last way is the icing. And just spread that around. And then you can put your ornaments on it. You can also, if you want, put on little sprinkle of powdered sugar, the sugar little sprinkles that we have over here, because the icing is still a little bit damp. And there you go. I'm not going to pick this guy up because, yes, I did break off the top of the tree, but he's still good to eat. And then here's this one. So, different ways to decorate your Christmas cookies. The ideas are endless. So, I can tell you from personal experience, I sneaked a look at the other cookies. Oh, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. I'm gonna tell you that right now. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. So, I did a little sampling of the cookies right here. I'll also take a picture of it when we're done. And show you how the inside of those ginger-molasses cookies look. Very good. Those are definitely a hit. And this is LadyJamers saying, like, subscribe, tell your friends about my channel. I hope you enjoyed this Cooking with LadyJamers Christmas Cookie Edition. And comment to see if you want to give it a try with different types of cookies and write which cookie you would like to see. The recipes will be at the end of this page, this video, plus the cookies themselves. Have a wonderful day. Take care. And we will see you later. Merry Christmas.